Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us for our weekend weather update and the outlook for next week. Very good to be back. Apologies we were away yesterday, like many other small New Zealand businesses. It's a challenging time at the moment, that is for sure, although at least we don't run off petrol. That would make things a little harder. Let's get into the forecast because we've got these rain clouds building to the north, a new area of low pressure forming there, and a bit of a front down in the Southern Ocean, but really it's the northern low that could produce some decent rain next week. In fact, there could be over 100 millimetres in some northern areas, and considering northern New Zealand, the upper half of the North Island, is in a rainfall deficit for the fourth consecutive year. So we need the rain. So when you take a look at the air pressure map, let's animate it for you, there we go. You can see that very large area of low pressure to the north. That's the area we're keeping a close eye on because it's likely to develop and drive in some northerly winds once this yellow area of high pressure finally moves away this weekend. The next high out here near Tasmania. So that means southern New Zealand still looking fairly dry. There is a weak cold front here, but generally speaking, the bulk of the rain coming up is for the top of the country. And I know those in Southland need rain, but I have to be honest, the rest of the month of March looks drier than average in Southland, Otago and South Canterbury as well. Just one last thing, please help support this site, earth.nullschool.net. If you can afford it, if you can, please do donate some money to them. They provide these maps to us at no charge, and we donate as well as often as we can. So let's take a look at the rainfall that is coming in. Now, this is the 3-day outlook, and it's starting from Monday morning, 7 o'clock Monday. So this is just a sneak. We'll show you the maps in a moment, but the heaviest rain very much along that eastern side, especially around East Cape, Eastern Bay of Plenty, and then later on it slides further down the eastern side of the North Island. We've got heavy rain also around Takaka. Watch out for some slips. It doesn't take a lot of rain for slips to affect the roads around the Nelson Ranges and Takaka, so that's another area to keep an eye on. But the bulk of the rain coming into these northeastern areas, which means places like Waikato are a little bit on the edge. You might get some decent rain, you might also miss out. It's just the nature of these sorts of setups. So let's take a look at the setup. Here is Saturday to begin with, and that low pressure zone up here has dropped right down towards Fiordland. 24 hours of rain on this map shows a little bit of green up here in the north, so that could be 10 millimetres or so coming through on Saturday. Otherwise, showers, just showers in the mix there, and the west coast has showers turning to rain the further south you go. Basically dry everywhere else, and those easterly winds continue on across eastern Australia. Plenty more showers all around there for you as well. Now on Sunday, more of a southerly flow coming in for Brisbane and Sydney, but in New Zealand and Auckland in particular, northeasterlies, subtropical, with a band of rain, a narrow band of patchy rain, but it's got some decent falls in there. In fact, you're getting up to around 50, 60 millimetres in 24 hours. That's actually getting up towards rain warning criteria if this eventuates. But just a few showers for Auckland and Waikato Bay of Plenty, nothing much. And nothing much really elsewhere, although later on, there's that rain that will start to come in to the Nelson area. Very large low, it fills up much of the Tasman, but at 1,002, it's not very stormy. So as we go into next week, the low deepens just a little bit to 1,000 hectopascals. The rain actually not as intense, it's being spread out a little bit further now, so a bit more widespread. But look at this, you can see parts of Auckland and Waikato in the green and blue, 5 to 10 millimetres. So it's just what I'm saying, it depends on precisely where you live and precisely how these rain bands eventuate, but you can see it sliding down that eastern coastline, which is why Coromandel, Bay of Plenty, getting up around that 40 millimetre mark on Monday. And then as we get into Tuesday, the low not deepening at all, it's basically that's as deep as it gets for now. The rain becomes a little heavier on the east coast. We've seen this a couple of times in the last few weeks, and that rain doesn't always eventuate. But remember, with this setup, the low is on the western side, not the eastern side like the last one that missed you. So this one's got a perhaps better chance of rain. Most of the downpours, 80 millimetres, but there's a little bit of purple on there that gets up to 100 millimetres in one day. And then look at next Wednesday, you could be getting up to 150 millimetres, but it's a very narrow area coming out of the subtropics and being fed straight in. So when it's just that narrow, it is a very close call, but one to definitely watch, because the centre of the low, the energy maker of that rain, is on the other side of the country, which means that rain wants to be pulled back towards the centre, giving it a better chance of making landfall or coming into land, as opposed to the low last week that came in from the east and then failed to arrive. So in this case, the low's already further west of you. That means it's a better chance of rain for the North Island. And you might have noticed the lower South Island and much of the South Island dry, no rain. It is leaning drier than average for the rest of the month in Southland, Otago and South Canterbury. That's all from me. Have a great weekend. Thanks for your support this week. We'll see you again on Monday.